Well, good afternoon. Welcome back to Friday Afternoons with COL. You are on the Australian Rock Show YouTube channel. Colin Gray with you from viciouskittenrecords. And today we're going to be talking you through some of the great alternate Christmas songs that you may or may not be familiar with. So we're going to get to that. We're going to play a bunch of them on the video as well. And just give you an option outside the mainstream. And heaven help it, don't we need that? You know. So, but before we get into the body of the show today, good and proper, I want to acknowledge a couple of things today. Today I do want to acknowledge the passing of Ritchie Hine from the Screaming Tribesmen and Radio Luxembourg, Has-Chem, was Girl Monster's first drummer, a bunch of other things, but Ritchie Hine passed away, as I said, on the 17th of December, and his memorial service was today, Friday 22nd of December. And I just wanted to acknowledge Richie and the legacy, his musical legacy. Major music fan, major music guy, as a lot of us are. And I never saw Richie in Girl Monster, but I certainly saw him a ton of times playing with the Screaming Tribesmen. This is a press photo from the time of the Formaldehyde album. You can see Richie there at the back, wearing the Marshall cut-off shirt. And Richie was a real powerhouse on drums. And as many people know, as fond as I am of, as many people are, of the classic era of the Screaming Tribesmen with, you know, Klondike and Bob Wackley and Warwick Fraser, I'm equally as fond of the 89, 90 period, 91 period from the Tribesmen when they heavied up, and they had Jeff Silver and Brian Mann and also Ritchie Hine. So Richie had come from Girl Monster. He was their first drummer before Susan Weld stepped in, and my brother had a lot to do with Girl Monster basically throughout their career. He ran their fan club and a lot of support for that band. And Richie, of course, as I said, was their first drummer. But then he went from that to Screaming Tribesmen. Now, this album is a wonderful album. A lot of the songs, of course, were written by Klondike before his departure back to the Hitmen, to Hitmen DTK. But Richie's drumming on this is absolutely monstrous. So if you don't have this or the Take Cover EP, please check those out. So Vale Richie, not forgotten, never forgotten. Thought I'd mention it today. And of course today, also being 22nd of December, is the anniversary of the passing of the late great Mick Cocks from Rose Tattoo, who passed away on this day in 2009. Mick's record speaks for itself. I'm not going to talk about Mick Cocks. Mick was very unique in his playing style, both in Rose Tattoo, fastest right hand, machine gun right hand, downstrokes, and in Heaven as well, importantly, a bunch of other bands. And again, countless memories of seeing Mick Cocks. So rest in peace, Vale Mick Cocks, never forgotten. So today, if I go back to the Screaming Tribesmen, I think I was talking last week about why I was not into Nirvana, because I was heavily into that album by the Screaming Tribesmen particularly, and I would see any shows around Sydney in support of that album. So I couldn't go from that to grunge, what became grunge or whatever. No. And we talked about sort of Nirvana before, and my brother actually gave me a couple of things to sort of think about as well. Namely, had Kurt Cobain lived, would Dave have been as big as he is? Would there have even been room for the Foo Fighters? I mean, that's it's negligible, it's arguable, it's hypothetical, of course. But, you know, have a look at the picture here in the top right-hand corner. That's my brother and Dave, 1992, I think. Good on you, Dave. Thanks for your support. Today we are talking about British Christmas songs. Not just British Christmas songs, British punk Christmas songs that you may or may not be familiar with. So we're going to play a dozen of them. In fact, most of them are British. Stick one at the end, which people thought were British, right? We're going to kick things off with a band called the Greedies, which basically was a short-lived supergroup formed by Phil Lynott of Thin Lizzy in 1978, and I guess it grew from Lynott's interest in punk and his friendship with members of the Pistols and Damned and Boomtown Rats. And they basically had this rotating lineup centered around Lynott, also Scott Gorham and Gary Moore. Chris Spedding as well was in and out of that. Steve Jones and Paul Cook, of course, were also in that lineup. And they basically would get together as this alternate called the Greedies, or they were called the Greedy Bastards. And they performed Lizzy, Pistols, and even Stevie Wonder covers in a few shows around London and a few in Ireland. Not many, only a handful from my understanding. So I guess Thin Lizzy's tour of the United States prevented further activities, and it wasn't until late 1979 when a recording session featuring Lynott, Cook, Jones, Gorham and Lizzy drummer Brian Downey produced a Christmas single, A Merry Jingle, aired several times by John Peel in the festive run-up, and it's a brilliant song. So if you don't know this, check this one out. We're going to play 90 seconds of the song. They changed the name to the Greedies on this because BBC wouldn't allow them to perform on Top of the Pops as the Greedy Bastards. So this is the Greedies.
Wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Greedies there with A Merry Jingle. How good's that? We might play 60 seconds of the song. Maybe if you like these songs, you can go and check them out on YouTube. You buy the songs as well, of course, support the artists. Alright, so next up, Slaughter and the Dogs with Run Rudolph Run, of course the Chuck Berry tune. And I think Motorhead also covered that as well, as did the Yobs, of course, the Boys, who released it in 1977 as a single with Rudolph Hess on the cover with a red nose. Very funny, very good. So Slaughter and the Dogs were founded in 75, and the band's name, of course, is a mix of Mick Ronson's Slaughter on 10th Avenue and also Diamond Dogs, hence the name. They were one of the first bands from first punk bands rather from Northwest England, and they famously supported the Pistols at their gig at Manchester on the 20th of July 1976. This concert, more than any other concert, single event, spawned Manchester's punk scene. So when we think of Manchester bands, Manchester punk bands, obviously Buzzcocks, Magazine, of course, Nosebleeds, I think even Joy Division, someone might correct me, we're a Mancunian band. But anyway, let's take a listen to this. We'll listen to about 60 seconds of this. This is a great tune. And this is Slaughter and the Dogs with Run, Rudolph, Run.
Well, out of all the ranges, you are the mastermind. Run, run, Rudolph, Santa can't be far behind. I said, run, run, Rudolph, Santa's gotta make it to town. Santa make him hurry, tell him he can take the freeway down. I said, run, run, Rudolph, 'cause I'm reeling like a merry-go-round. out what you've been longing for. All I want for Christmas is a rock and roll electric guitar. And then a win-win Rudolph whizzing like a shooting star. I see the run, Rudolph, Santa's gotta make it to town.
Great stuff, right? So let's just cut straight into the next tune. So this is, we're going to play a song by Eddie and the Hot Rods, and we're going to play It Feels Like Christmas. So Eddie and the Hot Rods were from Essex, and they also had a bunch of great songs. Do Anything You Want to Do, Teenage Depression, of course, and I guess what a lot of people don't know is that Eddie in that band was not a real person. Eddie in that band was a mannequin who was, centered predominantly on their stage in their early gigs. But I think the joke wore pretty thin, and they placed the mannequin fairly quickly. But the name stuck, so they were lumbered with Eddie and the Hot Rods. So I guess, as is well known, they played a set at London's famous Marquee Club, opening for the Sex Pistols, which I think was the Pistols' first show at the Marquee. And I guess that descended into chaos when the Pistols started smashing the Hot Rods gear. So this earned the Pistols their first press in Britain, I think in NME. So, and I guess also during another residency at the Marquee, they famously had a duet, week by week or whatever, with AC/DC to see who could cram more people into the Marquee during one of the hottest summers in British record. They appeared at the Marquee Festival in Reading, 1977, and I think the following year, when they went to the States, they toured with the Ramones and Talking Heads. But also, of course, in late '77, they released a one-off collaboration single with Rob Tyner from the MC5, known as Rob Tyner and the Hot Rods. But today, we are going to listen to Eddie and the Hot Rods with It Feels Like Christmas. Eddie and the Hot Rods there. And I was thinking how such a great song that is, Teenage Depression. If you don't know that one by Eddie and the Hot Rods, go and check that one out, because that's a classic from that period. Okay, number 4 in the alternate Christmas list, for me anyway, we're looking at a dozen British Christmas punk classics. So, Disco in Moscow, I suppose famously Baby Baby, Judy Says, another great one, Automatic Lover from the second album. But that whole, I guess, Pure Mania debut album is just, from 77, is just essential. And of course it contains the song Stiff Little Fingers, of course, which was how Stiff Little Fingers took their name. And I did have their album from 1988 called Recharged. And there's some great songs on that too. Tight Black Jeans, Too Dumb, Troops of Tomorrow, which I think the Exploited sort of made their own. But today we're going to play a Christmas song by the Vibrators. I could have played I Hate Christmas, but I will go with, and again, there's so many. This is the Vibrators with Santa Had to Go into Rehab. Crank it up. So many great songs. I am hoping that by playing some of these songs, and if you're not familiar with some of these great British punk bands, then you start to dig a little bit, you know. As I often talk about, forget beige punk, forget Sum 41, forget all the current, you know, current crap bands out there. Dig, right? There's a lot of great stuff out there to dig. So, a band still around, of course, is The Damned. I'm going to play a song by The Damned called There Ain't No Sanity Clause, which came out in late 1980. Title of the chorus of the song, so the title and chorus of the song, were derived from a scene in the Marx Brothers' 1935 movie A Night at the Opera, in which Groucho Marx attempts to explain the intricacies of a business contract to Chico Marx. When Groucho mentions the sanity clause, Chico responds, "You can't fool me, there ain't no sanity clause." Great. I mean, who doesn't love The Damned, right? All their different incarnations are great. Even some of the stuff they put out on, what's the guy from the Offspring, his record label? They put out a couple of things on his label which I thought were really good in the late 90s as well. All right. We're going to play a song by the Yobs. So we're going to play Silent Night. And this is a German version called Still Nacht. Still Nacht. Didn't know I spoke German, not very well. Which of course means Silent Night. So having released an album and 2 singles on NEMS, the boys decided to swap the B and Y in Boys and became the Yobs for their 1977 Christmas single, Run, Rudolph, Run, as I was talking about before. So in 1978, they were having a little bit of a dispute with their record company, but they bootlegged themselves as this band called the Yobs, and they released a single in '78, which is this one, called Still Nackt. Check this out. Anything to do with the boys is absolutely brilliant. Check this out. So Matt Dangerfield, all those guys, you know, maybe I'm preaching to the converted, but if you don't know the boys, then please take a deep dive. So they released a Christmas album as the Yobs in 1980 called the Yobs Christmas Album. And they have released a couple of Christmas albums since then as well. So we're going to play another tune because I really like the boys and the Yobs. We're going to play a remake of Rubber Dum Dum from 2020. Check this out. Welcome back. Up to song number 9. We're going to play a song from 1982 by the Anti-Nowhere League. This is a song called Snowman. And from 1982 and their debut album, this song appeared on. Led by Animal, of course. They played their first gig at Tunbridge Wells in Kent in 1980. When that album came out, one of the reviews said this is the most, I think this was from the Philadelphia Inquirer, said the most vicious, mean-spirited, gratuitously violent punk band to come down the pike in a long time. stated the album was for mature adults. This is the best hardcore punk record England has yielded since the Sex Pistols era. Every song features a slamming, inescapable beat to match the freely flung obscenities. So what? This is Snowman. Is it about Christmas? Or is it a euphemism? It's a great song, crank it up. Andy Nowhere League and Snowman.
I ain't got no fucking birds, I ain't got no fucking money. The dog don't fucking recognise me. Get chucked out of fucking house next week.
Still around in different incarnation, led by Animal, of course. But their debut album from 1982 is worth checking out and picking up if you don't have it. So, what's next? We're going to play, this is the 10th of my Christmas selections. And this is The Business with Bollocks to Christmas. The Business from Lewisham in South London, about 10 kilometres from Bromley, and Orpington in Kent, where my brother and I once resided, more than once. The Business was formed in 1979, and their first single from 1980, Out in the Cold, is a brilliant song, if you don't know that. They played their first Oi concert in 1981, supporting the Foreskins, and they became closely associated with the Oi scene from then on. The Business took a stance against political extremism with their Oi against racism and political extremism, but still against the system tour. It's a mouthful. Despite standing apart from the far right, the band also criticised communists in songs like Suburban Rebels. They were on Secret Records, and in 1981 they released a classic cover of Elton John's 1973 Christmas classic Step Into Christmas. This is The Business with Bollocks to Christmas. Next up, a couple to go. Thanks for sticking with me. We have Peter and the Test Tube Babies with I'm Getting Pissed for Christmas. So from Peachhaven, which is 10 kilometres from Brighton in Sussex, they originally formed in 1978. Due to their humorous tongue-in-cheek lyrics, they've been considered part of the punk pathetique subgenre. So Peter and the Test Tube Babies were first featured in Sounds magazine in July 1980, and they won a John Peel radio special that came a bit more prominence. and they released their debut album in '82, which is a great record. There's a lot of great songs on that. Elvis is Dead, Smash and Grab, and I think there's a great cover of Gary Glitter's leader of the gang. Yeah, brilliant stuff. But anyway, they also did a Christmas tune. So this is Peter and the Test Tube Babies with I'm Getting Pissed for Christmas.
Children, the bad man is coming to steal their homes away. No Nintendo or Nike, just a cheap bag of sweets. It's all we can afford today. I'm getting pissed for Christmas, just like the rest of the year. There's no future in this lonely world, so I might as well have a beer. Christmas is coming, and never getting back, but I'm trying to get to school. Shit, the presents that nobody wants, why don't they on the pound? I'm getting pissed for Christmas, just like the rest of the year. There's no future in this lonely world, so I might as well have a beer. I'm getting pissed for Christmas, just like the rest of the year. There's no future in this lonely world, so I might as well have a beer.
Alright, couple more. In fact, we've got one more, but we're going to play a bonus for you. This is the Foreskins with a cover of the Slade tune, Merry Christmas Everybody. So, a little bit of history about the Foreskins. The Foreskins from East London, formed in '79, with the band members sharing a mutual love of football and Sham 69. Most of the original four band members were or had been skinheads, thus the double meaning of the band's name. There's an excellent documentary on YouTube that talks about the riots around that time, 1981, I think, Southall Riot. If you search for Foreskins and 1981 punk, British punk, you will find it's very interesting documentary. But let's check this out. Great band, great songs. This is Merry Christmas Everybody by the Foreskins. Okay, well, welcome back to Friday Afternoon with COL. That's our dozen great alternate Christmas songs. Got one more as a bit of a bonus. It's not British, but when it was released, a lot of people did think it was British. It's by a band called The Ravers, and they put out a single in '77 called Punk Rock Christmas. They're an LA band who originally called Daddy Maxfield, I think. And I guess when they released this, people actually thought it was the Sex Pistols cleaning up sort of cash-wise on the holiday season. But, you know, it was a band called The Ravers getting in on the sort of novelty. So, you know, I think the lyrics are a little bit sort of cringeworthy now, including like putting on the Brit accent. But at the time, I suppose, you know, you've got to go back and put your head back in 1977. it's still a pretty good driving, rocking tune. So this is a bit of a bonus. I'll play about a minute of that, then I'll come back and we'll wind up for today. This is the Ravers with Punk Rock Christmas.
Let's have it! Hey! Yeah! It's gonna be a punk rock Christmas this year. Even Santa's gonna be a sex pistol for a day. All those Christmas trees swinging safety pins from their leaves. It's gonna be a punk rock Christmas this year. Farrah Fawcett will change her hairstyle for a day. The Queen will sing Anarchy in the UK. And old Mick Jagger will adopt the Strangler swagger. Yeah, 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 baby. Big Whitey will take up the electric guitar. And Johnny Ramone will get a sled for a car. There's a group called The Damned, they say, who play the four wise men in a play. In a play. In a play. It's gonna be a punk rock Christmas this year. Even Santa's gonna be a sex pistol for a day. All those Christmas trees swinging safety pins from their...
Welcome back. Okay, so that's the bunch of songs for today. The alternate Christmas songs. There are more Christmas songs other than, you know, turn on the radio, you hear Mariah, Carey and, you know, Jose Feliciano and all that sort of crap. So, alternate, right? Always look for alternate options. Don't just settle for beige. Other things I could have played today, but perhaps I ran out of time for. Stifflittlefingers, Belfast punk band, of course, most famous Belfast punk band. White Christmas. And I suppose the Kinks' Father Christmas. If you listen to the guitar parts on that, Dave Davies, they say that that's, you know, one of the first sort of punk songs. But if you Google that, that's pretty interesting. But I didn't play that either. Maybe next year, I'm still doing this, I could do like a US Christmas punk songs. You could have things like 45 Grave. I think they did a great Christmas song as well. I think they did the Heat Miser, Snow Miser thing from those Bass Rankin. Who else remembers the Bass Rankin TV specials? Those animated things in the 70s, hosted by people like Jimmy Durante. And I think they did a cover of Heat Miser, which was one of the songs, or Snow Miser, something like that. I think the Descendants also put out a Christmas song. And of course, Joan Jett did a version of Drummer Boy on, was it Bad Reputation or I Love Rock and Roll? I forget. I think even Thunders did a Christmas song, Run Rudolph Run, which makes sense. It's the Chuck Berry tune. But yeah, that's about it today. I just thought, you know, people celebrating Christmas, give people an option. A couple of things I want to finish with today. A couple of things here. Today I'm wearing a t-shirt by Kevin K and Alan K, the K brothers. I'm sure if you can see that. Step back a bit. There you go. I still have a few of these for sale. Hit me up with a comment or on the Bandcamp page, the Vicious Kitten Records page. You can see a few different sizes left. So if you want one, pretty cool t-shirt, very original design, and stand out from the crowd. That's also important, right? So hit me up about that. Kevin also has a brand new book out. Now, it's a children's book. So he can add, as well as being, you know, an amazing musician and a guy who's been so prolific in, you know, music industry since the mid-70s. Last year, Kevin started doing drawings. Now, this is based on a song that came out on the Broken album about Alvin the Seahorse, right? Called The Lost Seahorse. And then Kevin started writing, thinking, well, this would be a great idea, some of these lyrics to put into a children's book. And he's done that, right? So this is such a positive book. I'll show you a bit about it. Right? So you've got a poem, right? You've got a poem on one side, and you've got Kevin's original drawings on the other side. And it's messages of positivity and hope in a pretty rubbishy world in which we live in. And for those of us who've been around a long time, a lot of us think that the world has seen better days, and times we arc back for simpler times when things weren't as complex. So for kids particularly, if you want to give your kids a really good example of that, as it says here, dive into the magic world of Alvin the Seahorse with his heartwarming collection of poems and illustrations that will make you smile. Join Alvin on his aquatic adventures, brighten your day and inspire deep sea dreams. And again, this is original, you know. A lot of cool drawings and poems, all from the mind and pen of the great Kevin K. So, if you want a copy of that, you email kevinkband@aol.com or leave a comment and I'll pass your details on to Kevin. He'll sort that one for you. Might even sign it for you. Folks, that's it for me today. I do hope you've enjoyed these alternate Christmas songs. These are all British punk classic Christmas songs. My name is Colin Gray from Vicious Kitten Records, Australian Rock Show. Tune in real soon, again next Friday, and we'll see what we're going to come up with again. We'll see you then. Thank you.